So I'm Indigo, and this is the code for my robot tank. Here at the beginning I include two libraries, and the libraries are sets of code that work with my tank. This first one is for the motors, so then when I use code that has motors in it, it knows what to refer to. And for this one, it's for the PlayStation controller, so that includes anything that has to do with my controller, and it refers to different sets of code. Here it creates a class, which is just like a variable for the PlayStation 2 for the controller. And then here it also has more. This is an integer for errors, and when the error equals anything, it knows what to do. Same for here. It has the two different bytes, which are just information bits that go through for the type and for vibration. And here, these two lines are for both of my motors. This first one, which I call motor 1, goes to the first power terminal on the motor shield, and my motor 2 goes onto the fourth power shield. That's where they're actually wired up into the tank. And whenever I have code referring to those, it knows which one to go to, motor 1 or 2. Now here's my setup, and this is where everything goes when I declare different things that will be used in my loop. Here the serial begins, which starts the library at 9600 bits per second. Then here error is shown as, or for this it's for the gamepad. So when I want to hook it up, I can put where I want it to be. So first one is clock, which it has here, which goes to 9. Then 2 is for command, and just for the rest of the parentheses, it goes into here as I have it commented out. Then if the error equals 0, which means that there's no problems, it'll say it found the controller and it configured successfully. If there's any one of these other errors, it prints different things, such as no controller found, or if it's not accepting commands, and so on. So, assuming everything works, then it goes over to here, where it reads the type. If the type is anything except for 1, and where 1 is working, then it will print saying the DualShock controller was not found. If it is 1, it'll go ahead. And here it sets the speed for both of my motors, which is 255, which is the highest speed. Then down here is my loop. In the loop is where everything happens as like I run the tank. So if the error is 1, that means it found no controller. It skips the loop and just doesn't work because there's no controller. If the type is 1, which means there's no errors, then it goes ahead and starts all this. So first it reads the gamepad, which is supposed to vibrate, but it doesn't actually vibrate the controller, which I assume is because it's not an official Sony controller. And if it were, it probably would vibrate, but since it doesn't, it skips over that and then just goes ahead. So this is where I actually have it written for the button pressing controlling the motors. So if I were to press triangle, it makes motor 1 and motor 2 both run forward, which moves the whole tank forward. Otherwise, if I press X, then it makes both the motors run backwards, which reverses the tank. Then if I were to press square, it would make the first motor run backwards and the second one run forward, turning the tank to the left. And if I press circle, it would do the inverse and make it turn to the right. And then if I were to press R1, it would make both of the motors stop, effectively being my brake.